Hey y'all, Donna here. You are looking at a seedless watermelon from the grocery store. I was talking about how they own the seeds, they patent them, and all you can really do is try to make sure you're getting heirloom seeds. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about whether or not this watermelon has
Vorona Cyrus.
And not really this watermelon, but I'm going to read a video that I saw the other day and on Carnavel's channel, and I want to read it because I feel like it's important. Myself and a lot of other people don't sit and watch these videos. Like, I listen to them while I'm, working, around the house, things like that, because I have limited time. But here's a peach tree that my family is planting for me for Mother's Day. I wonder if these peaches are going to have
Vorona Cyrus.
It makes you wonder what is
Vorona Cyrus.
or are these tests just a sham? Is it just, who knows? Do my strawberries that I'm growing, do they have
Vorona Cyrus.
This is a scarecrow. You see in the background, that's actually a snowman, but the neighbors' guineas have been coming and eating every strawberry that turns red. So we put up a quote-unquote scarecrow. And I'm growing a bunch of melons currently in my garden. I wonder if those melons...
Vorona Cyrus.
And I just realized I'm calling her by the wrong name, Miss Vorona Cyrus. Because the censorship, all of this has been going on for a long time, but it's being ramped up right now. And we have to watch what we say, I guess. Although we should be speaking out. We should be saying what we want to say, regardless. Some people are going to stay mum for various reasons. Maybe they're cowards. Maybe they are more concerned about their income. Maybe they have to be more concerned about their income. Maybe, and this is what concerns me the most, maybe it's becoming so normalized. People are just used to this sort of thing by now, or they will be, eventually. We've been seeing it for a long time. It's just being ramped up now. I mean, think about somebody like the Unnatural Vegan, who even agrees with a lot of it. They're looking at people's, who are getting their videos taken down or being grabbed up in the street, and they're saying, good, they were doing the wrong thing. Or even if they don't agree with it completely, they're like, these are the rules. This is what happens. This is, I guess, the way it is. When Root Calls was, that movie, documentary was taken off of Netflix, that didn't even surprise me. When Vaxxed was not allowed to go to the film festival a couple years ago, I mean, these things don't surprise people anymore. They are becoming normalized. It just like everything else in mainstream culture and the current consensus is of, it's all normalized, or it is in the process of being, and that's what's worrisome. And the thing is, we don't even fully understand what Vorona Cyrus is, whether that's, it's a virus that is actually new in our environment, or something our body is producing as a response to something that is new in our environment, or something, either way, that has been here along and we're just stumbling upon it. It's like going into the ocean and getting a fish from the ocean floor in an area that we haven't been to yet, and pulling it out and saying, look, this is a new species of fish. We've never seen it before. It is new. It must have just now came into existence. And by the way, we're always discovering new, creatures, and there's so much we haven't discovered. That doesn't mean it's brand new. It was just created. There's so much to learn. We don't know it all. And that's the problem with the whole mainstream. They don't understand that they don't know it all. And if you don't understand that, or if you won't accept that, then you can't learn more. You can't learn new things. You can't make discoveries. You can't make advancements. And this is a big problem in science and medicine. But anyway, let's get on with it. We took samples from sheep. We took samples from pawpaws. We even took samples from car oil. And we took samples from other different things without them knowing. And we even named all the samples, like the sample with the car oil. We named it Jabil Hansa 30-year-old male. The results came back negative. When we took the sample from a jackfruit, the durian, we named it Sarah Samuel, 45-year-old female. The results came back unconclusive. When we took the samples from the pawpaw, we named it Elizabeth Ain, 26-year-old female. The results from the pawpaw came back positive, that it was Vorona Cyrus. That means the liquid from the pawpaw is positive. We took samples from a bird type called car. The results came back positive. We took samples from a rabbit. The results came back undeterminate. We took samples from a goat and the results came back positive. We took samples from a sheep and it came back negative. And so on and so on. So now when you see this, you have to take the samples and say they are humans. And the results come back positive. And that they had Vorona Cyrus. That means all the pawpaws should be in isolation also. And when you take goat samples and they are also positive, that means all the goats that we have here by assumption, or maybe the goat that the sample was taken from, should also be in isolation. And when you take the durian and it's also positive, that liquid from the jackfruit, the durian, which we named Elizabeth, meaning Elizabeth, the durian, that means all the durian should be in isolation also. So when you notice something like this, you must know there's a dirty game being played with these tests. That there are unbelievable things happening in this country. Either the laboratory workers in there are bought by people with money. Either they are not well educated, which isn't true, because this laboratory is used for other diseases. Either the samples which are brought in, because even the reagents are imported. Because even the swabs are also imported. So it's a must that something is actually going on. Now even the pawpaw samples are positive. They have Vorona. So the WHO should really do something about these things. And even the goats have Vorona Cyrus. And if they haven't realized that the Vorona affects humans or goats, and it also affects trees. So scientists haven't done even research on this matter, or any research. So there's several people, through the extra information I have here, there must be people who were told they are positive, while they are not really Vorona patients, and some might even die from worry. The pawpaw, it's there, it's not dead. It's there just getting ripe. The goat is also just around. It's not even dead. The durian is there. Maybe it will just rot after it's reached its time. But all those are positive and more other things. So I'm giving advisement to Tanzanians. Don't worry. And for those who aren't tired and not injured in any way, why should you worry? The flu has always been there. This is just more advanced. This shall also pass. But the issue of finding out even a pawpaw has Vorona is inside the pawpaw. It's not on the outer layer, because if the samples were taken from the outer layer, they would have said it's someone who touched it with Vorona. But they took the samples with the right specifications. They inserted the swab into the pawpaw. They might say someone went inside the goat and gave it Vorona. But a goat to have Vorona, a jackfruit to have Vorona, a pawpaw to have Vorona, a bird like a quail to have Vorona Cyrus. There must be several questions to ask ourselves as Tanzanians, but also the whole world in Africa. We must ask ourselves about this whole issue of the virus. There must be something that isn't understood well by Tanzanians into the science community, and it might not well be understood by the whole world. But I'm giving advice to those who are using these equipments, especially in Africa. Take samples from different animals. Take samples of anything, even a wall, even a lizard. Take a sample of anything. They are going to prove all that I'm saying. I'm a science expert. I know what I'm saying. And this work was done by people who are really qualified. I'm urging Tanzanians. We are still in the elementary stage. Let's not panic. Let's continue to work hard. Production should continue and in a huge scale. We should not put fear on each other. And politicians should stop using this as an agenda. It's not going to help them. But Tanzanians should not accept to be used. Vorona is not in Tanzania. It's everywhere. It's all in the United States, Holland, England, Sweden. It's everywhere. It's in Japan and China. Everywhere. Now they should not use this as a base. First, this disease never started here. Tanzanians, let's stand strong. Let's unite. Let's put God first. Let's work hard. We should not be afraid of each other. We should help each other so we can solve this problem together. And for those who are trying to do nonsensical things, like the things I just said, that even a pawpaw has Vorona, a quail, a bird, a goat has Vorona. In the scientific approach, people really have to work hard. I'm asking our specialists in universities, Sakon University, University of Dar es Salaam, universities and others. This is right time to really work hard and show your integrity in doing research. Okay, so you get the idea. He goes on to, you can basically replace Tanzanians with all people, all humans, because this is a message to the world right now. If they can test fruit, they can test anything, apparently. What is Vorona Cyrus? What is she?